Yes. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Ah. All right. All right. All right. All right, I just put the master unmute all to everybody. So if you're hearing me and you're picking up some background, I just want to get a little, we're about to get this season started. I'm so pumped right now. I'm so glad to see you guys. So we'll give everybody some time. Obviously, we're going to have an audience that's going to kind of be jumping in. If most of you were attempting to log in, obviously you made it here. The password was probably not working the first or second time, but I had to update it because I used it for work today and I changed it. And, you know, it's wizard behind the curtain stuff, but we'll get it right. If you didn't do anything before 7 o'clock, you did the right thing. All right, we'll give it a few more, I guess, seconds here. The goal is to try to keep this session under 45 minutes. To do that, it requires me to get started in a timely manner. So you never know where the dialogue and the conversation is going to go. So I want to kind of get started and kind of go as fast as I can in the beginning. So that way we can open ourselves up to some questions you have that it takes an entire tour to think of things that I can't, or some of the things that you see already haven't been thought of. You see my light counter back here? You guys checking this out? You guys see this light counter? It's pretty good. We up to 555 lights. That's some good stuff. So if you're watching this and if people kind of start joining us, if you're familiar with the tour Facebook page, social media is not really your thing, I encourage you to like the page. If you do that, in about 2 seconds, the light counter would move. Okay, it'll go up. The reason why it's encouraged that you do like the page, because what it does is it prompts you to follow it. And then anytime, you know, I send out social media to the public, it kind of allows the public to see what the tour looks like. And I've kind of been doing a lot of that marketing and communicating. So if you haven't done so already, one of the things I ask you to do is go ahead and like and follow the page. And if we're on this session here, you'll see that counter move. It's pretty cool. All right, so we got a good reception. We got 20 of us here on board. We'll go ahead and get started. Share some of my screen here. So what all you should be seeing is a welcome with a background of a photo saying the tour talk, this is cart ready. It's essentially episode 5 of these video conferences I've been doing. If this is your first time here with me and seeing some of the videos, this will be familiar to you. Everyone's muted upon entry. This session is recorded, so that way those who can't make it here, or if you like to look back on this later, you're able to do so on YouTube. Use the chat function down there. I won't be able to moderate that, so if you guys are not used to this, go ahead and kind of send some questions to everyone, or you can privately send some text back and forth. Again, we're trying to keep this under 45 minutes. If it does happen to go over, we'll all be disconnected. But if I'll start another session if we get there, and we can kind of keep this going if people decide to want to continue with it. When you do speak, when I open this up, try to be in a quiet area so we can avoid some of that background chatter. All right, so this is what we're going to go over. It's not here on the agenda, but I would like to formally welcome everyone to the Capital City Amateur Tour. We are one day away from kicking off our season, starting off with our tournament tomorrow at the Country Club in Muirfield Village. I wouldn't do it right if I didn't say that, you know, last time we were in action, we were in the Ryder Cup last year in October, defeating the Cincinnati Tour head-to-head in an inaugural season event where we were crowned the Ryder Cup champions, Ohio, in Columbus. With that, we crowned 12 flight champions last year. Among them, 10 of them will be playing in this event tomorrow. So if you kind of like that recognition, I got Josh Boyer, Peng Thamavong, Jason Murphy, myself, Chris Berry, Rick Williamson, Jay Ryan, Cliff Wiley, and Donald Sorensen, each winning their flight, and they were season champ in the year 2019. So we'll get right into these topics here. Congratulations to those guys, and if you see them on that pairing sheet, don't be shaking in your boots. They're just like you, right? So if that's your tour goal this year, we got that in store for 2020. So with the topics here, again, if this is the first time you've been here, we did a couple of these tour talks. Every Wednesday, I'm on here discussing about the tour, communicating, promoting the tour, verbalizing and speaking to all things that are going on. Each event we have, just like this, the day before at 7 o'clock, we'll be here talking about it. And then the day after at 7 o'clock, just like here, we'll be crowning and awarding our flight champions and then presenting what the award is. Self-explanatory, you had a chance to read this as I've been talking. These are the things we're going to cover. All right, so the recap here. So again, in a matter of the last 12 days, this is a very captive audience. A lot of you are just now getting familiar with what I've been calling a web link or a tour database. You know, each of these episodes go into that. If you happen to want to see where these videos are, these YouTube/Tour Talks, if you access this database, you click on Tour Talk, it'll take you to where they're all located. And if you hover on down to the season calendar, it'll showcase where all of the other events are scheduled, and it has a password and session ID there as well. All right, so on we go. This is the database. All right, so a lot of new players are out there to the tour, and those of you who were coming over from Golf Channel, we had Golf Genius, right? Well, I had to create something, and this is that Golf Genius. Again, I'm gonna speak to the lowest denominator that we have in our field. This is kind of the first time about an hour ago, I got about a handful of players that never seen this before. So if your level of awareness is there, this is where all the tournament information is located, okay? There's two places to get it. It's on the Facebook page at the website. If you go, again, if you like and follow, hover over to the website there. But then essentially, I provided a link in everyone's email, and to all players in this event, I sent it in a text message. It functions better if you're on a personal computer, but as many of you are finding out, if you are only a mobile device user or you just happen to use a mobile device, make sure the settings on your phone is set for desktop or full site use. So again, you know, I showcased where that tour talk was. All those episodes are down in here. Go back into the dashboard, go back out. I talked about the season calendar. If you've never seen this before, it's a great opportunity for you to get familiar with it between now and tomorrow, because this is how the season is going to talk to you. We're going to jump in around some of these things, and right now we're at the event of Muirfield Village. You see here the field is 74. The next event we have, that's a low number. We're climbing towards a field of 100. So it's pretty important now that where we are, you can see the dates that you sign up early to these events. Most of these events currently are set up based on the number of carts. You can kind of see that number is not that many. So sign up early. It's full refund if you cancel before the event starts, or sorry, the registration closes. So we'll just jump right here into Muirfield Village. Again, this is an event page. You've seen it. Some of you have before. But here is where all the side games are, how to enter. Here's all the pairings. is alphabetical order by last name, tee time to the left. Here's the pairing groups to the right. And if we slide ourselves on over to the right here, it shows you what the projected prize fund is and what the current optional side game pots are. So we'll kind of cover some of that later in this session. There's a guaranteed pool for some of these side games, and you still got some time to sign up for those. And those entry options are located up here. All right. So we'll jump back down to the PowerPoint. Come back to me where you at. All right, so we're going back to the PowerPoint here. What you see next? All right, here's our event. We are at the Country Club of Muirfield Village. This is not where the PGA Tour plays the Memorial Tournament. Crystal clear on that one. Many of you asked where the address is. I put that in here. We're straight tees, unlimited stroke play. I want to pause and stop that for a second. Unlimited stroke play. For those who are playing in other amateur tour events where there are a triple or quadruple bogey max, don't pick up your ball. Don't touch your ball. That's going to be a penalty for those guys. So it's unlimited stroke. You hole out when the ball gets in the cup. Okay. We are planning to go off at 10 a.m. tomorrow. We'll get to some weather here, as that's kind of what many of you have reached out to me for and about. If you don't know already, there's no spectators or caddies permitted. Players will only be permitted to the course 30 minutes before your tee time. So please be mindful of that to avoid gathering. That it's kind of set up in a way, 30 minutes. The range will be set, prepared to be open. It'll be prepared for you to use, but don't show up any earlier than 30 minutes before your tee time. And to get things kind of going off in the right direction, I ask that you be at the first tee 10 minutes before your tee time, because we'll play ready golf. So that gives you a good buffer of 20 minutes to kind of get warmed up, pitch, roll a couple putts, maybe swing a stick or two on the range, and they're kind of in close proximity to one another. I'll have a local rule sheet later tonight, early in the morning, that will come to you. And it'll also be present on the first tee for you to take a picture. I'm gonna pause and come up for some air. Since I've been communicating much, I'm gonna pause right here and just kind of ask any of you, is there anything that the direction of this is going or the pace of it, you guys got a question on before I go any forward for what you've already seen? If you're talking, you're on mute, so you got to unmute yourself.
Okay. When you say starting at 10 a.m., but that's just some people. We have specific tee times, like I believe mine's 12:10. This is David Young.
Yeah, that's correct. So tee times are starting at 10 o'clock. Correct.
Okay. That's it.
Okay. All right, we're moving forward here. So if you haven't seen this already, this is the arrival. So this is an aerial overhead view of the property of the Country Club in Muirfield Village. You know, down toward the bottom right, this is the southern end of Columbus, 270 area. So you're traveling north here on Muirfield Drive. You'll be making a left. Parking lot, it's probably best that you park right around here where this kind of close pack of cars are, and then head over here where is the cart staging area. The check-in will be right here. That's where I'll be, hopefully under a tent of some kind, but you should see me right here. And the number one tee's right here, okay? So if you're getting your cart right here, man, I haven't been to this course. Some of you have. If you're getting your cart and you're showing up kind of the middle of the day and we're teeing off, yeah, there are going to be people teeing off this way. You're trying to get a cart to go to the driver range putting green and then coming back to number one. So there's going to be a lot of crisscross traffic. So exercise respect for other players that are teeing off of one. But we should be gathering in large quantities to make too much clatter. But hopefully, I'm just saying that I kind of see this occurring as you guys tee off on number one. All right, popular question, weather. This is how we are looking for weather. So the rule of thumb is obviously there's a 50, if not more, % chance of rain tomorrow. throughout, on and off throughout the entire day. It's very likely that we will be, I can't say it, man. It's opinion based. I talked to the pro. He said it takes a lot of rain to close the course. It takes a lot of rain to close the course. He said it really drains really well. But what can delay our tournament is lightning. Okay. What can also change our conditions. Let's say at 10 o'clock, whoever has a tee time at 10 o'clock, even if the strong chance that it gets so soggy in the afternoon, the chance is that we'll play lift, clean, and place through the green, even at 10 o'clock when it's not raining. Because you got to make it even for everybody through the whole day. So no matter what, the conditions will be announced when you tee off. So I'm not going to say what those are now, but I can pretty certain if it's going to be a very strong chance that it's going to be lift, clean, and place in the afternoon, it has to be lift, clean, and place for those who tee off at 10 a.m. In the event that we do have lightning in the area where they have an alert system, guess what? It's probably going to compel us to gather. So let's say, hypothetically, at noon, lightning's on the course and players are asked to mark their ball and take cover. You're likely going to shelter in place, or you're likely to return to the clubhouse, which will probably bring 30 to 40 guys back into an area where you'll probably go to your car. I mean, that's kind of just a one-off chance, but let's just hypothetically go to what that might look like tomorrow. You'll probably return to your vehicle. I have everyone's text number or phone number, and by text, if I get the message that we can resume play, we'll resume play. And that's how I'm gonna communicate to you guys. Is there any question about weather?
Yes. Hello?
Yep, I got you.
Can you hear me? Okay, I had to unmute. It's the weather forecast is like from about 10 o'clock to about 5 o'clock, it's thunderstorms. Not just rain, but thunderstorms. So it's possible it's going to be lightning, whatever, and some bad conditions. So at any point, possibly, I mean, worst case scenario, will this be called or canceled? Or, I mean, during play, I mean, if say at 12 or 1 that they decide to, it's just raining too hard, or the thunderstorms are from the radar, it's going to be all day. Do they have any kind of contingency plan?
You're looking at it right here on the screen.
This is it.
Okay. If the course remains unplayable and lightning is present, that we cannot officiate the tournament or it is shortened due to those conditions, that's when we'll call it. So if we go off on the course, and it could be a combination of a lot of factors, man. Yeah, the contingency is if a flight cannot complete 9 holes or more, it's a shortened event and it's not an event that can be held. If the last group that goes off, currently our last tee time is 2:30. All right. I was really taking a look outside yesterday. I think we have enough light to get us to 8:30. That's 6 hours of light for that last group. If the last group doesn't tee off until 4, it's likely they're not going to put in 9. So that flight, you can't have a contest for it. So there's a lot of contingencies that's already in my mind. But until the event occurs, I'll be prepared to make those decisions when they happen. The thing is yes, this is not ideal weather for golf. Everyone's going to have to go through it. I would think that you would prepare yourself with rain gear, conditions, extra gloves, towels, anything that, all weather gloves. You're going to play in conditions that are not ideal. I think the benefit of it, you're going to try to do your best. Pace that may not be ideal, and for not being on the course before, you might not be off the path. So there's a lot of things that's going to add time, and even if we play, I think the groups early in the day have a great chance of finishing, but it might not be so good for the groups that start off at 2 o'clock or later, our walkers. So does that answer your question?
Yes.
Are there any dress code restrictions with the rain coming?
Give me an example, such as what?
I mean, like, we can wear like rain gear and like rain pants. I don't know what the restrictions at Muirfield. I don't know if it's like the country club or, I mean, like the big course or.
Yeah. So they have, it's typical like at a course, spikeless, no hats in the clubhouse. I don't think you'll be going inside. you can wear all weather gear, whatever you have. You can't wear shredded jeans. You can't wear.
I mean, yeah, not stuff like that. I'm just mean as far as rain gear, like we can walk around in like rain pants and stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, good question. All right, so moving on, we're going to our next one, scoring here. This is how scoring is going to work. All right, so we don't have live scoring. The event will not be official with the kind of speed that technology provides us today. But scoring is going to go basically old-fashioned. You don't have to worry about your phones during this event, except for emergency messages that I communicate to you. Scoring is going to work traditionally with the scorecard. So in the example, at the start of the round, each group will receive 4 cards, 1 for each person and 1 extra to fill out at the end of the round. You are going to keep score of a different player in your group. And at the conclusion of the round, one of you just fill out the blank scorecard, take a picture of it, get each other's phone numbers, and send that picture to myself and all the other players in the group. And this is kind of e-signature style. So every player will attest and then confer what their other competitor score is and their own. And so I'm gonna get a lot of group text messages, probably about 25 of them from all the pairing groups we have out there. But this is the way in which you don't have to sign a scorecard, you don't have to get close to one another, but then also you still have a record of the scores that I receive and acknowledge and will update for the result page and officialize the event. If there's a ruling question that occurred on the course and you're not really sure which 2 scores should be ruled, I'll probably be reaching out to you as early as I can to kind of go over what scenarios occurred so that way I can get the right sequence of events and then determine which score will be upheld. Okay. Once I get all the scores, I'll acknowledge that I received it and then inform you that the following day, join us for what this session is like here now, but we'll just be awarding and crowning our flight champions. Is there any question with scoring?
Jacob, how are you going to handle tiebreakers?
Tiebreakers, there will not be no live, of course, playoff. It'll be USGA tiebreaker. It's going to go last 3. Your last 3 holes was the first tiebreaker. Your last 6 holes is your second tiebreaker. Your last 9, your tiebreaker. And then I think it goes number 1 handicap if the tie still is in succession there. So similar rules. I think it's Rick Williamson, just like we had on the Golf Channel Amateur Tour. If you're familiar with that tiebreaker rule.
With the exception of first place.
With the exception of first place. Yep.
Okay.
Good questions. All right. Next one here. This is pretty cool. I think not everyone, but many of you have played golf socially. What you can anticipate here at the country club tomorrow is that they have these touchless ball retrievers attached to the flag stick. So this way it eliminates the need for you to reach down the hole, but it also, if you've been a victim of balls bouncing out, not being holed out because of pool noodles or upside down cups, this was installed about 2 weeks ago at the course. So you're going to see this. And also, it's set up to where we're going to have every cart a single rider. Every cart's going to be sanitized before use. And then on the first tee, you're going to receive a personal sized bottle of hand sanitizer, which is provided by one of our tour members playing in the event, Mr. Jared Miner. So these are the things and efforts of, this is pretty unique. I look forward to this touchless ball retriever. I can't tell you that every course is going to have this that we play, but it's pretty unique to see this on the first event we have. Side games. All right. I like this. We can't do, I guess, closer to the pin like in other events that we've had. So I substitute what an additional game outside of flight skins and super skins were, and I come up with the last man standing. It's the only kind of, I guess, game that would outfit a tournament. So essentially what it means is we have prize flights. So co-joining the top 2 flights, the middle 2 flights, and the bottom 2 flights. The last man standing essentially is it's the player who goes the longest without making that identified score. So if I'm a player that's in a Hogan Saracen flight and I've entered in this contest, The moment I make a double bogey, that's the most holes that I've gone without making a double bogey. So there's a guaranteed pool with this. Let me get into the database. You guys seeing the database? I just need one person to tell me if this is what's showing.
Yes, we can see it.
So the optional side game right here, this is where the pool sizes are for that flight last man standing. So right now, Hogan Saracen flight. If you're a Hogan, senior Hogan Saracen, senior Saracen player, there's only 14 players in it right now. And it's a $70 pot, but I'm guaranteeing 100. So whoever the last person in there who does not score a double bogey of those 14 players, that's how you win it. So Keith Mooney's, I know you're out there, Mr. Mooney. If you're the guy that doesn't make higher than a bogey for 18 rounds and no one else achieves that score or that kind of run, you're the guy that gets $100 for playing this for $5. That's how it works. I think that's pretty cool. So I look forward to seeing how that's going to turn out. This is not offered at every event yet. If there's a chance that this is a good participation, then you'll see it roll out in the future event. All right, prize fund. Here's what we're paying for. This is as current as I'm talking to you right now. This tour pays out in Visa gift cards, and since it's a cashless event, it's going to be paid in a way in which it could be credit. If you're a kind of guy that's like, man, listen, I don't know what I'm gonna play again. We can make arrangements for giving you the award of what you won if you're a flight winner or if you happen to place. There's no tour out there, sister tour like it, that pays to you, the player, the number of money per entry towards what you receive for prize. If it's a golf association, if it's the Northern Golf Association, it's the Southern Golf Association. I've seen the Red Line Tour. I've seen Golf Week Tour. None of them pay like this. We're talking about $40, almost $45 per entry goes to prize fund, where I've seen it only be $15 in other tours. So I'm very proud of this. I'm looking at, where's Mr. Mooney at? Mr. Mooney, you're out there. I know you are, right? We were talking about you in the last man standing. You're in the Saracen flight, right? Right? So you're in a flight of 14 members. If you happen to, make it right tomorrow and you're a mutter where you like it to play in the rain and you come out on top with $210, you come out $210 for winning your flight. And if you kind of see there next to it, there's an option on this tour for what you can win. Let's say you're not a guy that wants a trophy. That could be $260. I've seen other tours out there that pay $105 for what we're playing. And I think this is a very unique way of attracting a lot of players and interest on this tour. And it's this prize fund and what you're playing for. I think that's the success of the tour. It's just one part of it. All right, so how do we get to results? All right, so we were just in the database. I'm not going to go back to it, but what I've done here is to showcase to you between the end of the round and into the next day, at some point, as I get those scores that you give me pictures and text messages to, I will be updating the results page. How you get to the results page is this 3-step, 3-photo sequence where you see right here. Go to results, click the event, and you're going to see it all there. It's going to show your score, where you place, how many points you earn, capital city wise, skin payouts. You're going to see everyone's score. Handicap differentials will be there, and they'll be posted in there as soon as possible. Obviously, my goal is to have it done by midday Monday, but no later than the time we come here 7 o'clock to kind of say, hey, you won. All right. So the award ceremony, I kind of went over that in that prize fund with the trophy, what can you win? So these are kind of the trophies that were available on tour last year. So if you're a kind of guy that says, hey, I would like to have a trophy and Visa gift card, which is kind of the model what the tour provides you, you can still get that. If you're saying, hey, I want that trophy, I will select a trophy and I'll mail it to your house along with that prize fund. So, or you're like, you know what, Mr. Mooney out there, I keep going at you, man. I just want the 260. So I just add the trophy expense right to it. Bada boom, bada bing. All right. So here we are, kind of riddled through a lot. You know, we're going to be back here on one of these sessions again on Tuesday, same time, 7 o'clock, same password, same session ID, and then every Wednesday after that. So that's kind of, I ran through a lot of that stuff. I did mention I was going to do out rule sheets. I'll send out a pairing sheet that looks a little bit more, I guess, user-friendly for you. But we got about 9 minutes to go, and this is kind of where I wanted to be and pass along. I'll put the mic in your guys' hand and see what questions you got. Open mic.
Can you hear me?
Who we got?
Van, Rome.
What's up, Van Rome? How you doing, man? Welcome to the tour.
What up? Thank you, thank you. Rangefinders tomorrow. Rangefinders allowed?
Yes, sir. Good question. Rangefinders are permitted so long as they do not measure slope, grade, or wind. And if it's a device that you have, you got to disable the function in that device.
Okay. And what about just like GPS, like on your phone? Can you use like the GPS apps, like on your phone and stuff?
Yes, you can. Absolutely.
Cool.
Good question.
Thank you.
What else we got out there?
I got a question, Jacob.
Who we talking? Who's talking?
Do you know if there are on-course shelters in case we get lightning or something? If we're if we're at the very far edge of the course, it may take 10 minutes to get clear back to the clubhouse or our cars. Do you know if there's actually on-course shelters that we could go to in that case, or do we need to go all the way back to the parking lot?
That's a good question, Tom. I'm not familiar with the course grounds. Is anyone out there that has been on property? I'm seeing a couple head shakes no. So it's just a matter of finding the nearest tree, I guess, if it's kind of getting a little bit heavy. But, you know, I will be communicating what actions you shall take. Obviously, if it's a downpour, I'm gonna mute everybody here. Okay, if it's a downpour of rain and it's coming down so hard, you're obviously immediately just going to take whatever cover you can find, right? If I would be right there trying to make that decision whether or not to pull you guys off the course. Okay, lightning will do that. Okay, you don't have to wait a message from me if you see lightning or hear it, right? So obviously I'll communicate what the entire field will be doing so that way the safety is priority for everyone. Okay, I will only make a decision that has safety and your personal protection in mind. So if we have that kind of lightning and it seems like it's going to be persistent for a duration of time, I'll get the message from the pro that you got to pull players off the course. And I think that they do have a weather alert system to also assist us in doing that.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Cliff Wiley, go ahead, buddy.
Okay. I've been on golf courses when it's been, bad weather where it rains so hard that it actually puddles on the putting greens. I mean, I was at a golf club of Dublin and they had to actually cancel the rest of the tournament because they couldn't squeegee the greens. I know you're saying that they drain well at Muirfield, never played there, but I'm hearing we're going to have like almost 3 inches of rain. So and at that point I'm worried that it's going to be coming down so hard or for so long that the greens are going to puddle. So what's the deal? What would be the situation if the greens start puddling?
Yeah, so I hope that's, I wouldn't say common sense prevails, but essentially if you have those conditions on the course that you're presented with, even if it's down tree limbs, conditions that make the course unplayable, do your best, take a picture, send it, communicate it, and then say, hey, I'm not everywhere, your eyes are my eyes. So if you communicate that to me, showcase by picture or whatnot, that will prompt course conditions that are unplayable.
Okay, because one of the things they were saying before was you can move your ball around a puddle, but we wouldn't be able to do something like that.
Nope. That's not happening.
Jacob.
I'm sorry, I had to just put everyone on mute because we're getting some background. So whoever that was, chime in and unmute yourself.
Jacob, Rick Smilax.
Good, buddy.
There's a tunnel on 2 to 3, and there's a restroom on 5T. And then on the backside, there's a tunnel at 12, and there's a restroom back there also. So there are places that are shelterable, but not a large area, but they are there.
Okay. Hey, Rick, I had to pause you there. I had to put you on mute. You got some, you're picking up some background, or you're close to something there. So I did get you that there's some tunnels on 2 and 3 and 12, restrooms on 4. I appreciate it.
On 4 green 5T, and then on the back.
Okay.
And then on the back at 12.
Back at 12. All right. Thanks for sharing.
And there's a tunnel there too. So.
Okay. All right.
Hey, Jacob. I've got a question on lift clean in place. I think I saw somewhere, did I see like the size of a dollar bill is how far of the area we'll
say scorecard.
Move your ball or something like that?
Scorecard.
Oh, scorecard. Okay. Okay. So that, I did see that then. Okay. Thank you.
There was another question not asked in this session here.
And you mark it with.
I'm sorry, I spoke over you. What was that question?
You mark it with the T and then clean it and then place your ball back in the same area.
Yep.
With the net. Okay.
Yeah. So there was a question. Thank you. There was a question out there presented to me out of the session about stroke and distance. So if you're not familiar with stroke and distance or the lost ball rule, I did provide a video link that kind of demonstrates what that is. The common interpretation of the stroke and distance rule is that if you're on the tee box and you hit your drive out of bounds 200 some 30 yards off the tee box, well, you don't know. So you just go up to where it crossed the line of hazard, which is the out of bound marker. And if you can conclude, the group can conclude like, hey, yep, this is where it went out of bounds. Right from that spot, you should measure to the pin what that distance is. And if that distance remaining to the flag is 220, okay, then you go to the green, or sorry, fairway, I said green, go to the fairway, and you should be the same 220 out. You got to go wherever that 220 is, and then you get 2 club links inside the fairway as back as far as you want. And you're hitting your 4th shot. Okay. So that's a plain language interpretation of how the stroke and distance rule is applied. That is in effect for our tournament.
Hey, Jacob, I got a question.
What's up, Brian?
The Course Pro available if you're out on the course over a dispute?
He is. So
Okay.
in the rule sheet that you're going to get from me, his phone number and my phone number will be posted on at the middle of the top of that rule sheet.
But your plan, do we contact you first or him?
There's a strong chance with tomorrow's conditions that I won't be playing.
Okay.
The tour is above my interest of playing.
Okay.
Well, you trying to stay dry.
Hey man, I'm gonna be out there with you guys, but I did put myself on the tee sheet. But once I get there tomorrow, I will make a determination to make sure that you guys get off well and I'm available, just like Mr. Thomas there is asking. I want to put myself in a position that I can run this tournament with you needing my help, and I'm there and available for the help you need. So again, the tour is above my interest of playing. All right. So we got less than 1 minute here. I know we might have some more to go over. So if you get kicked off and you kind of want to come back, I will open up another session and we can continue and keep on. All right. So there's not going to be any other warning. It's just going to cut everyone off. T-minus. I see you blowing kisses, man.
Hey, real quick, Jake.